If you are wearing gloves right now while you're out and about on your necessary errands and you're not taking them on and off correctly, you could actually be doing more harm than good. Hi, my name is Dr. Angela Cortal, and I'm a naturopathic doctor in Oregon. We are currently under shelter-in-place recommendations, and now from our governor Kate Brown and the CDC, they're recommending masks or any kind of protection, homemade masks, apparently bandanas, literally anything that people can put over their face to prevent the spread of coronavirus via coughing, sneezing. All of that is recommended. But what I'm really not seeing out here in the internet at all is anything about gloves. But yet, when I've had to go to the grocery store, which we're trying to minimize trips like everyone else, so every other week or so that we've been out shopping, I've been seeing a lot of people wearing gloves, but I'm concerned that people are not putting them on and off, putting them on and taking them off appropriately, in which case it really defeats the purpose. So either watch this video or scrap the gloves and just use hand sanitizer. I'm not saying that gloves are better, and if you can just have access to soap and water, that's best. But because I see a lot of people out there wearing gloves, and I have gloves at home as a medical provider, I just have a lot of medical supplies backstocked at my house. So I've been wearing gloves, and I want to run you through how to put them on and take them off appropriately so that you're minimizing contamination if you are infected but don't have symptoms and know it. And also for the whole point, I'm sure, of people wearing gloves, which is to prevent transmitting an infection to themselves. There's ways that you can do this so you're really minimizing things, and then ways where you can just defeat the whole purpose of wearing the gloves whatsoever. So getting started here, I just have really basic nitrile gloves at home. What I'm going to be doing first is putting them on. I'm right-handed, so I'm, as much as possible, just trying to, with my bare hands, contact the inside of the gloves. This is my left hand, and I have it inside the gloves, and then I'm putting my right hand in and sort of working it in, getting my fingers all the way down there. Again, bare hands inside of the glove. Okay, so I've kind of worked. So now my right hand is gloved, left hand bare. Now I'm doing the opposite, because now this is a gloved hand. Gloved hands touch the outside of the glove. Bare hands on the inside. So now I've worked my left hand in here, and I'm taking my gloved hand, pinching the glove, the outside on the left, and working it in. This is something that was reinforced in my medical training when we had to do minor surgery and learning how to put on surgical gloves. Now I'm just kind of working two gloved hands on, working it down there. These are small, which are a little bit snug for me, but it's what I got. But I actually learned these techniques prior to medical school when I was in undergrad, and I worked as a volunteer counselor for the Kiwanis camp up on Mount Hood in Oregon. And so we were camp counselors for children and adults with physical and mental disabilities, some of them pretty profound. And so we had to help with some basics of daily life and toilet assistance and those kind of things. So I got a good training from a fairly young age in my undergrad years about how to take on and off gloves that could be potentially contaminated. So now my gloves are on, and the other big piece of this is planning. If you're really going to use gloves to prevent any sort of touching anything contaminated while you're out and about, when are you going to put them on and when are you going to put them off? Think through that before you actually get out your gloves, and don't waste things by touching something and then taking your gloves off and then having to open that handle again with your bare hands. Well, then why did you even wear gloves? So how I'm approaching this is just using one pair of gloves per grocery store, and then using the technique I'm about to demonstrate to take them off. And in my car, I'm not wearing gloves. I'm not wearing one pair of gloves during the whole trip, so I'm being very conscientious about if I'm touching the outside handle of my door with my gloves, I'm not going to touch that with my bare hand. I'm going to open the door from the inside and then just shut it with my arm. Okay, taking off. This is really the most important piece. Because if you really have been using your gloves to prevent contamination, and maybe there was some contaminated surface that you touched, whether that was something in a grocery store or a little ATM debit machine, like you're wearing gloves because you're wanting to prevent that. You do not want to touch with your bare hands the outside of the gloves. This is the most important piece to think about. If it's hard to think about potentially contaminated with virus particles, I'm going to go back earlier in my training and provide you this lovely visual. Imagine there's feces all over the outside of your gloves. Don't touch it with your bare hands. So let me get right up close. Glove tan pinches the outside, works it up. I'm kind of tucking my hands, making a little glove taco. I just made that word up. Working it out. I never touched with my glove hand the inside. Okay, so this hand's free. This one has we're presuming contaminated glove. This one's going into my garbage. I have a little little office garbage that with the little pedal on the floor. So opening that up, not having to touch anything. This hand, do not touch the outside of the glove. This is the biggest thing I see when I'm out in the grocery stores and I see other people wearing gloves. They're just grabbing and pulling off the glove. That's wrong. That's what. Don't even wear gloves. Just use gobs of hand sanitizer if you're going to do that. The only good way to do this is to take your bare hand, work up under the glove. I make a little fist so it comes off easy, and then straight into the garbage. That's it. If you're going to wear gloves, please do it that way. Please do not take your bare hand and pull off the contaminated glove. Just scrap the whole gloves idea if this is too much for you. And like I said, gloves are not mandatory. Our distilleries around here are offering free hand sanitizer. So if that's easier, just put a little bit, rub it all over your hands. Great, go with that. But if you are going to do gloves, please just be very conscientious about taking them on and off. Because it can do more harm than good if you think you're protecting yourself and then you're doing something like touching the contaminated side. And also it's just wasteful. There may be a point in the near future where gloves are in short supply, and the thought of thousands or millions of people out there just wasting gloves, doing them inappropriately, and medical supplies or hospitals being in short supply in the future, that's just kind of heartbreaking. So if you're going to use them, please do it this way. Let me know if you have any more questions below, and I hope that this was helpful. Take care.